In-home pet euthanasias are very different to the experience that you're going to have, or an experience that you may have had with a previous pet in a veterinary clinic. And I also appreciate that there will be people watching this video that have never experienced this at all. And so I wanted to make a video to address exactly how this whole process occurs, from looking at this video, making a phone call to me, all the way through to burial or cremation. So the way that it does work is my mobile number is on my website. Some people, obviously this is very hard, so some people would prefer to text me, and I'm definitely able to just text and we can have conversations and do bookings via that. If you are comfortable to call me, I recommend it. Quite often when I have these phone calls with people, the last things they say on the phone call is, I feel so much better now that I've had this call and I've done this. And I can talk for quite a while on the phone. Generally, I might be doing a drive, or, you know, some of these phone calls can go up for 30 minutes, however long they need to go for. And in doing that, you do get to know me and I get to know you, and also you just understand what's going on with your pet. And then if it is decided that we're going to go forward with an in-home euthanasia, with that information, I'm able to prepare things at home. So I prepare a pre-medication, which is a little needle that goes in the back of the neck. When I give that at the home, I like to give a treat. I have frozen chicken skin that I heat up at home, and I bring that out for dogs that are still eating. For cats, we try everything fancy feast. If there's something, and in the conversation that we have on the phone, you might have a good idea as to what might help. Just as a distraction, so with the first needle, it's not going to bother them. And when I arrive to the home, I do have my kit with me generally. It's just a small little case. And I take my shoes off at the door. I leave them at the door so that if there was a cremation company that were going to come and pick up after I leave, they know I'm still there. The environment, I like you to set it up however you'd like to and whatever you're most comfortable with. But some of the nicest goodbyes I've ever done have had soft calming music. There's like a channel you can put on your TV where it's a fireplace and piano music, and that can make a really nice environment. And when I arrive, I usually just like to get to know you once again and your pet for a little bit until it's nice and comfortable. This is not going to be rushed in any way. Then it's that Last Supper, and while eating that little bit of chicken skin or fancy feast or whatever we decide on, the needle goes into the back of the neck, and that is a sort of like a twilight anesthetic. It numbs the whole body, and it means that when I'm placing the cannula or giving the second medication, not that it's painful, but it means that that's not going to be felt. Patients, cats and dogs don't like needles, so placing a cannula and taping it in, they don't want you to do that, so it numbs them. And it also means that if the diseases that they're suffering from are causing pain and discomfort, then their last moments are pain-free, which is really nice. And so when that medication kicks in, with cats, I just give the medication into the belly. They don't feel it, and they transition very quickly that way. You do have to give more than usual for doing it that way. With dogs, I do place an IV cannula, and so we sort of pop them into a comfortable position. I place a cannula, and then the next medication that does help them transition on is an anesthetic. It has a name called lethobarbital. I like to wrap up all my lines so you don't see the medication going through the line because it's green. And this medication has a nickname called the Green Dream because it's an anesthetic that causes a little bit of euphoria, and it's a nice feeling before transitioning on. And just like if you've ever had an anesthetic yourself, which I have had, the anaesthetist will say count backwards from 10, and you know, you're lucky to remember making it to 8 or 7. So A lot of the patients that I see are very close, and it's, this is obviously why we're saying goodbye to them, and it is very quick when they transition. If you are doing home burial, it's a really good idea to dig the hole prior to my arrival. We talk about this on the phone, and we talk about how the hole should be dug. And then I'll help you by wrapping up your pet in a blanket, and then helping you to get your pet into the site, the grave site, and then also helping with the shoveling. Lots of people don't feel that they need help with that, but whenever I do, and I don't need to do that, if you want to do it yourself, it's completely fine. But whenever I do it, people are very appreciative, and I think it's just carrying a patient after they've passed away, it can be tricky, and I know how to do these things in a graceful manner. If you would like to have a pet cemetery come, I can organise that for you. So on the phone call before I arrive, I ask you these questions, and if you'd like me to get that company to come and arrive, they usually arrive around about an hour to an hour and a half after I arrive, and I wait for them and I help them to get your pet into their van, and then they're a separate company to me, and they talk to you about urns, and they give you a brochure, and they usually just call you the next day. So that's it's basically how things go. Every euthanasia is different, and that's a good thing. I like to have, once again, that conversation on the phone with you and decide, is it going to be under a tree in the backyard? Or are we going to do things inside? What are we going to do with the kids? What are we going to do with the other dogs? Are there any tricky parts that we have to be concerned about because of some diseases that your pet might have? But yeah, the aim is to respect that they've had a beautiful life and give them a beautiful passing. And that's why I'm doing this job. I've been a vet for a long time, been doing this for a long time, but now I just do this just so I can help patients and people. And I'm getting a lot of purpose out of it.